Sweet.
Hello, everybody. How's it going? We are live, and we are doing a live build, live with Harshit. Harshit, what's up?
Hello, Joe. How are you? Hello,
Really,
everyone.
really well. Yeah, all
Yeah,
good.
well,
Excited for this. We haven't done a live build in a while. We were doing them months ago, and it was really fun. And then we stopped doing them, and now we want to pick them back up again. We're talking a little bit about client first certification also. So, a lot of good things happening in this stream. Let's say hello to some people in the audience. Wow. Nice. Great to see. We have Jake, Duncan, Victoria, Andrea Morgan, Casper Nielsen, C. Hunter, David Alejandro Lira. Hello. John Saxton, Tom Nora, Faizu. David, what's up? Ferdy Boxman, how's it going? Big Wiz user here. Ferdy, love your passion these past few weeks. Emmett Armstrong, what's up? Susan McPhee. Wow, great to see you. Omkar, how you doing? Nicola Toledo, hello. We got lots of people in here. This is a nice educational stream about to happen, and so happy that you are here. We're going to be building in client first. We're going to be talking about all the new things happening to client first, and of course the certification. So Harshit, before we get into the live build, talk a little bit about this client first certification. What are you cooking up?
yeah, definitely, Joe. So, a lot of people have been requesting from a long time that hey, we want a certification in place. We used to do boot camps before, but that was kind of, I think, is something that is now hard to pull off because now we have like a huge number of client first users, right? If let's say even if you want to give certification to let's say 200 people, it will take us years to reach to that point if we to keep doing boot camps, right? So that's why we thought of the idea of certification where people will give a test which will be a client first test, okay, and then they can share their live builds or live builds, I mean live website or preview link of their website, and based on that we will certify them. They will be certified by Finsweet that okay, they are a pro user of client first. So that is how we are going to do client first certification.
Nice. Now, I love the manual review process about this, that it's not just a test. Test is just so that you can get to the next step for a manual review, where somebody at Finsweet is actually going in your projects, looking at how it's built, and then telling you, hey, this is great. You are certified. We agree. Or, hey, you're not certified. These are the things that you have to fix, and then give you a chance to come back and resubmit that to then be certified. So this manual process takes a lot of time, not as much time as the boot camps, which were very intensive, but still that manual aspect where there's somebody looking at your work and saying, hey, good to go. You can put this badge on your site. So that's coming soon. When is that coming, Harshit? Approx.
I think approximately I would say after like around September or maybe a few months up, like after and before that. Yeah, because it's well underway. Like we are working on the platform itself, where all of these things will happen. But the structure, the test itself, and how things will work out, those things are already yeah in a good place.
Great. Okay, so we'll be giving a lot more information about that as time passes. We'll be sharing stuff on Twitter. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Make sure you follow Harshit on Twitter. Me, I'm optional. You don't have to follow me on Twitter. But that's where we put a lot of our new information. So whenever we discuss client first, in the certification, we're first going to tell our Finsweet Plus users, and then we are going to tell the general public on Twitter. So stay into that. We'll have a lot more, and it's going to be a great way for you to go to clients and say, Finsweet certified that I'm following this system. Finsweet certified that it's all check. And we'll make it clear that this is a valuable thing for you and your clients. So excited for that. Now, Harshit, anything else to talk about before we go into this live build?
No, I think we are good. I will just request Victoria to please share the assets for the live build. Let me know, Victoria, if you still need them. I can share it with you. Yeah, there we go. There are the assets, guys. So feel free to download them if you want to follow live, or you can download them and use them later. So you will find all the assets. Yeah, I think we are good to go, Joe. I will start sharing
Great.
my screen. Yeah, we can start. Nice. So my screen is visible. Uh, Okay, so here you can see that I have a blank project. I have simply cloned a client first clonable, okay, to start with. And basic setup, I have the style guide right here, and I have removed all the dummy content from the home page to start from the blank page. Today, guys, we are going to make big screen VR website. It's a VR headset, amazing. I love it. And I felt like this is a great website to start with, because it's having like various range of components, videos, and sticky components all. So it's very interesting. So yeah, I think we should get started right here. I will start by uploading the font, which I have already done, just to save up some time. Let me see. So first we will go to our body. This is the general step. We go to body, we set default sizes and all. So for now we will set the default font size of our website to 1 rems, which is 16 pixel. So here I will select all body. There we go. And the font I will select, I think I need to add it right here. Let me see really quick. Yes, I need to add a font. Just a second. Let's go to fonts, and I will upload the custom font. Okay, these are the fonts. There we go. By the way, if you
And
want to
I'll ask
check which font,
Harshit,
yeah, sorry,
when you get back
Joe,
into
go ahead.
Designer, just give a couple of zooms in. And
Sure,
even here, let's zoom in for everybody. Let's make sure that we can really see exactly what's on the screen.
sure. So I'm uploading the font. Sometimes this happens where the names will not be fetched. So what you can simply do is copy the name and paste it and upload it, so that you have all the names properly. Okay, last one. There we go. So now we have all the fonts uploaded. I will go back to the designer, and I will make a quick zoom. How about this,
Yeah, I'd give
Joe?
even one more zoom in if you can.
It's I think it
That's
will
fine.
become harder.
That's
Yeah,
fine. No, you can go one back. You can go one back. Yeah. Looks good.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, nice. So yeah, let's start with body, like setting up the body. That's the first thing I think I will do here. So I will set up a body color, which I can see that the primary color of the body is black. So we can cross verify that as well with some color picker tools. So for example, here I'm using extension to pick up the colors, and you can see the selected color right here. There we go, which is black itself. So let's simply go to the body and apply the color. There we go. And I will also save the swatch really quick. Now I will add my core structure for the page. So the very first thing I will do is I will take a div block, and I will call it page wrapper. There we go. So this is the very first thing. Inside that, I'm going to add the global styles embed. I want to keep it in the very top because I want the CSS to load very first. And I will also quickly stick to the left side of my screen. This is just a small trick, guys, that you can do to stick it to the left side, and this will allow us to access global styles embed really fast. There we go. Add some padding in there. Let's make this white and text black. So you can see global styles is right here. Okay, so we are on live. I think we have our face right here, so I will fix it to the right side. Now I think it is visible. There we go. So I can now double click on it and easily access the global style embed. Nice. Let's set up the next things. So we will have the nav bar first, and after the nav bar, we are going to have our main wrapper. So for that, I have here I have a div block which I'm going to name as main wrapper. Here we go. And at last, we are going to have footer. So first, let's start with the nav bar right here. And please, guys, keep suggesting us names as well, because there are like many ways to name a certain element and all. So you can also follow along and suggest names to us. That would be great. So let's start building with the nav bar. So here in the nav bar, I can see that I have a logo, a few nav links, and then a small title for the nav link as well. When I hover over this, I can see that the whole thing is clickable. Not only the link is clickable, but if I click on movies, it will also open the link itself. So the whole thing is clickable. We have to keep that in mind. And then we have a pre-order button right here in the right side. Nice. So let's what we will do is the very first thing that I will do is build a custom container. There we go. And let's use container large for this one. And I'm going to take every brand link, nav menu, and the menu button, which is going to appear on the mobile, and delete the default container. Why we delete the default Webflow container? Because our own custom container provides much more flexibility, in terms of styling and all. So that's why we have our own container. Either I can name this as, so first let's name our navbar component. So I can name it nav underscore component, or I can also name it nav underscore wrapper. With client first v2, we don't have a solid restriction on naming it as component, because now it's more like a folder structure where things are nested inside each other. So we can have nav wrapper or nav component as well. You will see as we go ahead. So let's call this nav component for now. Then the container large, I can either name it nav underscore container, because I am going to apply some styles to it, or I can add a combo class to it, is nav, something like this as well. This is also fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the background color of the nav bar. Let's see if it is black. So the color is not black, but it's transparent with a backdrop filter applied to it, backdrop blur. So let's make this thing transparent first. There we go. And to apply a backdrop filter, we need a little bit of black color. So I think I will go with black, and then I will set the opacity to 10. Guys, we can inspect the website and create exactly the same website by inspecting the same values, but just for the sake of a stream, I am going to assume a few values here. So for example, here I'm going to assume this is 10, and then apply some backdrop filter. So right now, even if I apply the backdrop filter, things will not be visible because everything is black behind the nav bar. So I will wait for the hero section to be ready to see the change. Yeah. Now let's have this thing. I forgot to add one thing, which is page padding. So let's page. We used to call it page padding. Now it's padding global. So padding global. I am just typing abbreviations for the class name. So padding global, which is going to create some padding on the right and the left side of the screen itself. So I'm going to put my container inside the padding global. Now you can see that there is some space on the left and the right side of my website. Then let's name our classes what we have so far. So this I will name it as nav underscore brand link. I can also name it as brand logo link, but nav link is fair enough. Then we have nav menu. So let's name it nav underscore menu. For nav links, we have a different structure. So I think we should use a nav link. We should use a link wrapper here instead of a plain link. The reason is because there are two elements, a text element and then a text right here. So yeah, let's use a nav link wrapper, or maybe I can, hmm, yeah, I can actually use span as well. Let's actually go with span. I think that, let's see how they are using it, and then I will do the same. So they have a link inside that, they have a span. Okay, so let's go with span then. We will do the same. So the first is software big screen. So I will simply copy and paste this thing right here. There we go. Let's change the color of the nav link to white. So first I will go to body and change the whole color of the body, because right now the text color is set to black. Let's set it to white. uh, yeah, the color is white. And then the font as well, I'm going to change it to the custom font that we have uploaded. Where is the font? Okay, I couldn't see it. Hmm.
Okay, there is definitely an issue with font uploads. That is for sure, because you did upload those fonts.
Maybe I forgot to reload the page. Yeah, that might be the
Yeah,
case as well.
let's see.
Yeah, let's see. uh, let's see. Oh, there we go. It's on the top. Yeah, so I think I forgot to simply
Mm,
just yeah, refresh the page. But there we go. We have the thing, and the body text is set to white, the text color is set to white. The nav link, however, is not white yet, so I will simply give it a class, uh, nav underscore link, like this, and then I will make it white. And for some reason fonts are not looking the same. I think, Joe, we should go with a different font, I mean a normal font. Yeah, because this is not looking like what we have on the website. I think I will go with open sense, which is like the most safest option. So there you go. Let's see the size, the font sizes. So when I hover here, I can see the font size is 16, which is good. So it is already 16. Nice. Let's simply copy and paste the same thing. There we go. I can see that we have a span right here. So first I will make the nav link a little bit grayish. So you can see that the main link itself is gray. I will copy this color, and I will create this color right here. There we go. Now it's gray. Make sure, guys, to always save swatches in an ordered way. Right now I'm saving it like this. So text gray is a nice name for now. And then I will create a span, and I will call this nav link span. So now it's very clear with the name that it's a span of the link itself. So nav link span, and the nav link it is itself is the bigger element itself. Yeah, so span, and I'm going to make this thing white. Yeah, so this is white. Let's make this white. There we go. I'm going to do the same with others as well. There we go, just like this. And on hover, this is becoming gray, so I will simply add a hover effect, a hover css, hover state, and I will turn this to gray. As simple as that. Now when I preview this, this is working as expected. There we go. Let's add the logo right here. So I have it on here, it should be right here. Let's see, big screen. There we go. So I will simply drag the logo, put it here, and you can see it is not appearing. It might not be appearing because of its inline default width and height. So we will go to image settings really fast, and I will try to apply some width and height, and there we go. So when I apply the width and height of 343, which is the default width and height, I can now see the logo. This happens sometimes, so you can add inline width and height to the image itself. Yeah. Let's call it nav brand logo, nav underscore brand logo, and I'm going to give this a height. So let's see how high this is. It's 42 pixels, so I'm going to put a height of 42 divided by 16, and I will type rem, which is going to convert the height into rems. Okay, so 42 pixels divided by 16 rem. There we go. So this is the height itself. Width, I'm going to set it to auto, and the height is set to 42 pixels. Width, I set it to auto so that it can maintain its aspect ratio properly. I don't want to force it to extend, and yeah, something like that. But I will also publish the website so we can match it as it is. Yeah, because right now we are a little bit zoomed. So let me make this 1440 my screen. Yeah, I think this is much better. See. Okay, nice. So I have my logo ready. My nav links are also ready. Now let's add this block right here. I think I will have a look into the mobile version really quick. So the pre-order is outside of the menu button itself. Okay, and inside we have the nav links. Nice. So I think I will keep pre-order outside of the nav menu itself because I don't want the button to go inside the drop down once we go to mobile. So let's create a new div block and call this nav right wrapper. I will call this right wrapper because it's going to go to the right side. Let's see what we have. There we go. There's the right wrapper. And inside that, I'm going to add a text first, simple text block. You can see that it is not arranged properly in the designer. So I'm simply going to apply flex property and align center, justify space between this one. So now you can see things are a little bit better. Now let's copy this text, shifts in Q3. There we go. And I will enter shift plus, I will have shift plus enters to create the break, line break. And then let's add the button itself. So let's take a button. I will call this a button just like this. By the way, guys, we also have, when we are going through the website, we can pre-imagine the class names of the buttons. So, for example, here I'm calling this button. For this one, I can use a button secondary, or yeah, button secondary or big button or something like that, because we have two different variations of the button itself. Yeah, I think calling it button secondary would not make a lot of sense because I can see a lot of these buttons in the page. So let's call this a big button. That makes more sense. So for now, this one is going to be button, and then color is going to be purple. So let's pick the color. There we go. And just like this, we have the color. All this. Nice. Let's add border radius. So I'm going to apply a border radius of 10 rems so that it's fully rounded. It's not going to go above that. Then I am going to apply flexbox to the right wrapper. There we go. Let's add a little bit of gap, maybe 1 rems to create that gap, or maybe 1.5 rems. Yeah, 1 rems I think is fine. Nice. So yeah, we have the nav bar ready almost. I just need to change the name. There we go. Let's see if we have any hover effects. We do have hover effects. So it's getting a little bit darker. So for now, what I will do is, I think I already have the hover color. So let's inspect again really quick and take the original color. This is the original color right here. Save it. And then on hover, we have the one that I picked, this one. Oops. Right. Pick it. There we go. This one. This one. Let's apply it on the hover state. I will call this do hover for now. There we go. Um, Yeah, so I think it should be fine now, or no, it is not working. It is the same color. My bad. So let's simply, what I will do? I will simply I will add a filter here and reduce the brightness itself. So from 100%, I'm going to take the brightness to 90%. This is one of the good ways if you want to take the color down a little bit. So as simple as that. There we go. Now this is working fine. So we have the nav bar ready. Let's now move to the hero section of the website. So
And
here,
before
yeah.
continuing to that next part, I just want to stop and say, if you have questions about the nav bar, right? If you're, I think there's a lot of people following along right now. Let's take a quick breather. Harshit, you're doing a great job going through this very quickly in a good way. But ask a question, and I'm here. The reason I'm here is to help questions get answered and to make sure that the audience is able to ask these questions. So ask that question. Harshit, I want to also say great job for looking at mobile for the design of desktop for the nav. This is something that you really have to do. Don't just think about a laptop computer when you're designing. You have to really think about that mobile to make sure that you're not updating multiple items. If there were two pre-order buttons, that means the client would have to update that in two different places, which we don't want unless we absolutely need it. Okay. Um, let's get a
I think
question
we have
here
a few
from
questions. Yeah.
Yeah, from Pavlo here. How do you make the blur background with open burger menu?
Hmm. Blur background with the open burger menu. Are you talking about the mobile?
Yeah,
Joe,
I'm
correct
guessing
me.
this would be
Yeah.
mobile. Yeah.
Hmm. How do you make the background? Sorry,
Yeah. Oh, I
blur
guess
BHC.
open the menu.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Pavlo, like full background with links desktop. Um, Pavlo, not 100% sure what you're asking. Please write out the entire question in full.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Lisan, why is Flex not working properly on menu wrapper? Is something wrong with
Okay.
Flex on menu wrapper here?
Let's see. I think when he is saying menu wrapper is talking about nav menu.
Hmm.
Right now we have
Yeah.
not applied any flex settings on it. I think he might be talking about container as well. That's wrapping up the menu. So that generally happen, guys, because of some default styling inside Webflow. That is why, when we have a container, this is how I generally like to do it. I apply a custom class to it, a custom combo class to it, basically is nav, so that I can apply flex to it. Or if you don't want to use this, you can simply have it nav underscore container, something like this. But the thing is, now you have to again style it based on the container of the website. So it's always better to use the container large and then apply a combo class to it. I
Great.
hope that was yeah,
Okay.
but
Yeah, that's clear. Okay, let's continue here. Let's go to this first section. Thanks for these questions. Keep them coming. I may be able to answer them, and if not, we'll answer them at the next stop. All right, let's go, Harshit. What are we doing next?
uh, nice. So now we have the main wrapper, Joe, here. And inside the main wrapper, we have to put all of our sections. So this is part of our core structure itself. So starting from page wrapper, we kept our global styles in the top. Then we have the nav component itself. We don't have to apply tags to it separately because it's a native nav component of Webflow. So they have the appropriate tags in it. For the main wrapper, however, we do have to apply a tag. So when we go to element settings from here, we can click on the tag and then we have to select main right here. You can apply it while you're building it, or you can apply it during your launch checklist. So I sometimes do it on the go, and sometimes I do it as a part of launch checklist. So it is completely fine. Then inside this, we are going to take a div block and then we are going to use it as a hero section. Now, some people might like to use section element from Webflow as well, which is completely fine. You can use section element, but the thing is, with div block, you get more flexibility of nesting elements inside each other, because you can nest div block inside other div blocks as well. So generally, they both work the same. Just to have a better flexibility, uh, we are used to using div blocks here. So let's start with the naming. When we are naming section, we start the name with section underscore, and then we will call it, for example, hero section in this case. So there we go. I can have multiple names for this. I can call this section underscore home header, section underscore hero section, or section, only section underscore hero as well. That is also completely fine. it should convey the message. It should clearly define what is it this thing is about. Right now, when I say section hero, I can use this particular hero section in other pages as well, because that is what name is suggesting. But if I add the name as section underscore home hero, then it's kind of more specific, and I can only use that section in my home page. Okay, so when naming things, you can basically think this way, whether you want things to be super specific to that particular page, or you want to use it on multiple page. For now, I think just to have some flexibility, I'm going to have section underscore hero. uh, yeah, and then let's continue. So again, I'm going to add a div block, and this is going to be padding global. There we go. Then we are going to add our container just like this. So container large. Beside that, I am going to have section padding. So let's have a div block section thing. So it's called padding section. It starts with section padding. The name itself is padding section. Every padding that we have right now, it starts with padding itself. So for better organization, so padding section. Let's have large for now. That should be enough. I'm just assuming here, and then we can have a div block, and I will call this, let's say, hero wrapper. So here, what I have done is I have created a component, you can say component or parent element, which is hero itself, and then after underscore, I'm calling this wrapper because it's going to wrap everything inside the hero section. Let's move ahead, guys. I can see a video getting played here, and then inside the video we have a heading which is a h1, and then I have a big button, and then I have some text here. So I can either use text, a plain paragraph here as well, or I can use h2 as well, because this seems like a secondary title of the hero section itself. Then this part becomes h2 from right here again. So yeah, let's do this. Let's see. First, I am going to take a video, a background video, this one, and then I'm going to upload the video itself. So let's upload the video, header video. There we go. Video is getting uploaded, guys. Meanwhile, I'm going to place the title, the heading itself, the h1. So let's take a heading just like this. Uh, Also, I can see there is some padding right here. So let's apply some padding to the hero wrapper. So here I will call this hero video, hero bg video, let's call it. You can call it bg video. Bg itself is calling it fine. We try to make this, we try not to make a lot of abbreviations when things are, things can get unclear sometimes, but bg itself is kind of fine because we all understand bg's background. But yeah, always better when you type it full. So background video, there we go. And let's apply some custom padding to it. I'm going to apply some custom padding. So I think 2 rems is fine. It's too much, maybe 1.5 rems. Yeah. And to apply it on all of the sides, there is a nice way. You can simply click and hold, and once the icon itself is blacked out, you can hit shift, and it will apply to all the sides. So this is nice shortcut. Let's copy the text, paste it right here. There we go. And I'm going to check the font size quickly. I'm going to inspect it, or I can use this what font as well. Maybe, yeah, the font size is 64, the line height is 72, weight is 500. Nice. So let's simply do that. I will select all h1s just like this, and I will set the weight to 500, which is not available for some reason in OpenSense. So let's use semi bold. I think this should be fine as well, or normal. I think let's go with normal. It's fine. For the line height, for the size, it's 64. So 64 divided by 16 rems. There we go, which is 4. It's already there, 4 rems. For the line height, the best way to calculate is to divide the line height with the size. So 72 divided by 64, because we don't want any unit here. It's unitless. So 72 divided by 64, and then a dash. So now we have the correct amount of line height calculated for us. And I think, oh, weird. tabs. My bad. I think I crossed something. Closed one of the tabs. Okay, there we go. So, okay, this is good. Now you can see that one of the line is kind of down right here. It's kind of breaking after big screen beyond. So let me simply exit this. Let's go to mobile and see how it is right there. Okay, so in mobile as well, it's the same. So big screen beyond is in the first line. Then after that, we have the second line. So what we will do is we will simply go here and apply a line break with shift plus enter. There we go. We are safe doing this because on mobile as well, we want the line break at the exact same point. So we can do this trick right here. There we go. Now for the text color itself, it's gray. So let's simply select the bottom line and apply a span to it. And here I will give it a class of text color gray right there. This is a so text color gray is a utility class, is a global class, not a utility class. My bad, sorry. It's a global class. You can use this on different text elements, on headings, on text. Whenever you want to change the text color of element, you can use this. So by default, we have a few of them: text color gray, black, and white. You can change the default values, and you can also add your own values right in there. So for gray, we want to use this particular gray here. Nice. And for some reason, I
And
can see that
this
video.
is a
Yeah,
utility class. I want to, you said it's a global class, but it's also a utility class.
also utility class.
It's
Yeah,
both. Yeah, utility. It's
it's
part of
both.
the text utility system.
Yes, so it's both. Yep, there we go. So we have it. So the text is gray, and I'm not applying any classes to h1 yet because I have set the default sizing here. The video is uploaded. It is not getting previewed in Webflow Designer, I believe, to save some bandwidth. Yeah, but it's fine. Let's have the button itself right here. I will take a link block to create this button, and uh, let's add a flex to this background hero background video. I think I also want to reduce. Yeah, it's fine. Let's actually call this big button. There we go. I will apply flex and then vertical so that I can space things out, just like uh, vertical. And we have a problem with flexbox. Okay, so I can see that when I justify the content space between, for some reason, this is not spreading out equally. Oh, because we have this. Is this the reason? Never mind. So, you know what I will do as a workaround? There are two ways to fix this. I can either have the video set as absolute in the background, or I can use this property. Let me show you. So, first I will align everything to the top, so justify everything to the start, and then here I will wrap the button inside a wrapper. I will call this hero uh, button wrapper. There we go. And I will set the margin top to auto, which will then push the button wrapper itself to the very bottom of the wrapper itself. Yeah, the hero video. Now inside that, now I'm going to add our big button, just like this. So we have some padding. Let's see, we have a div block with a circle, and then inside that we have this triangular thing. I think it must be inside our assets as well. We have some text, so let's first add a text. There we go. The default color is white, so let's change the text color to white. Remove any decoration. There we go. And it's called watch the trailer, just like this. Okay, so I have to manually type. There we go. Watch the trailer. Let's add some border. So let's add 1 pixel of border. When we are using uh, 1 pixel value, we don't convert it to rems. That is something we keep in mind with client first because of retina displays, and you know how displays works basically. We always use 1 pixel as pixel only. We don't convert it. Yeah. So let's have this, apply some padding to it. I will apply 20. Let's see, 20 by
Can
16
we
RAM.
just talk about that topic just a little bit? For anybody that doesn't know what that means, when we need to use 1 pixel, we do not convert 1 pixel to rem. We leave it as 1 pixel. And the reason is when we go down to different devices, including Retina devices, that 1 pixel doesn't really convert well when divided by 16. So you're not always going to see what you want to see, which is a really
Hmm.
thin 1 pixel. So applying the 1 pixel, kind of, we found that really stabilizes that issue with that really small size. Just want to make that clear
Yeah.
for anybody that says why do we not convert 1 pixel?
Yep. Yeah, and in some cases, it kind of appears very thin. A line, sometime line breaks as well, so it creates some unwanted conditions. So it's a safe
Yeah.
option. Use 1 pixel. It's always going to be 1 pixel. Yeah. So there we go. We have it this way, and then I will change the color to white, and let's give this a border radius of 10 rem again, and I will add another div block. This div block is going to contain a circle icon itself. Let's see. So, okay, applying flex to the button wrapper to move things around to the left. Take the div block to the first, just like this, and you can see that I have this. Okay, so I, okay, you know what I will do? I will set this thing to absolute because I'm not sure if I want to give it a fixed height and width. Yeah, let's set this to absolute. So let's call this big button, big button icon, or big button. Yeah, icon is a nice thing, I think. Icon or circle, maybe. Yeah. For now, let's name it circle. We can always change name as we go, uh, but for now, I think it's clear. Absolute to the left side, and then I have to set the big button to relative. There we go. I need to add some padding here so that we have some space for that thing right here. I think this I cannot see it for some reason. Relative. Let's make this white. I'm going to zoom out a little bit, guys, just for a second. Okay, so my bad. Yes, I think I'd need to give it a fixed height so that I can calculate it. So what I will simply do, I will click on height and click on pixel to calculate the exact height of the button, and you can see that it is 64 pixel. I will divide that value by 16 rem. So there we go. Now I have the height of the button itself. I will give the same width here as well, 4 rem, 4 rem, and then I will apply a radius of 100% to make it completely circular, just like this. There we go. Let's see if I can get the same effect with static as well. So static, this will become 0, will become 0 as well, 0 as well. There we go. Yeah, I think this is a better way. So instead of using absolute, I'm using static this time. uh, let's add some gap, maybe 1 rems. This is good. Let's have this called big button text. Yeah, and then if I want to add more padding, I can simply add it here itself. Yeah, I think there is a little bit of margin. Yeah, no margin but outline out. It's a border outside actually, so we don't really need that for now. Yeah, let's see. Let's move this. There we go. And I will add the icon inside. So let's find the icon in assets. This is the icon. Guys, we are also changing the color of the icon, so I think it will be great if we use embed here. By default, it's always a great idea to use embeds. So simply go to the icon itself. You can always open the icon in new tab, copy uh, it from the page source like this, or you can use extensions to copy the code. There we go. uh, I'm using this extension right here, potato extension. You can use it too, but here I copied the code and I pasted it right here. So it should work. There we go. It's not visible, I think, because of the color itself. So let's have big button icon. I will call this icon, and this is circle itself. So icon, nice. This is nice. Change the color to black. There we go. Now let's give it a size. So let's give it a size of maybe 2 rems. Yeah, 2 rems is good. Nice. 2 rems. Let's bring this thing to center, and we have it. There we go. Let's check the font size of this thing. The font size of the button text is 15 rems, 15 pixels, which is good. Okay, so we will also make it 15. So 15 is not a value that we recommend on client first, but for now we can have, let's see what values comes in. If we can see, you can see that rem value is very random. Let's use 14 instead actually. Yeah, just to follow our 4 point system, 14 is a better number than 15 here. And then I will make the button itself semi bold. I think that's what we have. Weight is 600. Okay, so weight is semi bold. Nice. I can, by the way, also apply these thing to here as well. So instead of the text, I can apply it to the button directly too. Now let's add the hover effect. So on hover state, I want to change the background color to white. I want to change the text color to black, and I also want to change the color of these icon and the circle itself. So there are two ways to do this now. I can either use Webflow interactions, which will use JavaScript to change the color of the circle, or I can use uh, CSS, which I'm going to do in this session right now. So what I will do, let's first see if I can create this effect with invert. I think yes, I think I can create this effect because when I'm applying the property invert, you can see that the inner icon is converting to white and the background is converted to black. So that is what we want, right? So a good way to do that would be let's go with invert for now. You can apply, by the way, you can also change CSS properties for each icon and the background separately as well, but for now I'm going to use invert. So invert, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the CSS code which is right here. This is just a bonus tip, guys. You can use it with Webflow interaction. Joe, should we do Webflow interaction or CSS is fine?
For what?
For this button hover effect. So we have this button hover. I want to change the inner circle with CSS.
Yeah. I mean, I would always go CSS before going JavaScript route.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, considering a better website performance, these small things definitely matter when you are making a bigger website. So let's go with CSS. Yeah, we want to do the right and best things possible here. So I will add a comment here. Call it big button hover. There we go. And here I have the code. I just want the background color here and the color, no, not background color, the filter. I want the filter itself. So there we go. I just want this. And the main class is big button. So let's have big button. And then when I hover over the big button, I want to target the child, which is big button circle, and I want to apply filter to it, which is invert 100%. So this should work. Let's remove the filter from here. And now you can see when I'm hovering over it, it's working as expected. There we go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great. A lot more efficient, a lot more effective, and also I think easier to update. Let's
Yeah.
pause here. Let's take a few questions. We have some great questions, and I'm going to start with one that's really relevant to this button from Jan Martin. Why did Harshit go for the static instead of absolute in this case for the button? What was the reason you stopped doing that absolute method?
I think, you know, I can do both here, but just keeping in mind, like I want to make it responsive as well. I think it will be easier for me to make something responsive that is static in compared to that is absolute. Again, it's a very small use case. You know, I don't see any plus or minus choosing one over other. You can do like both of the things that you want, but here, you know, choosing static, I think it's better in this case for, why I did this, because things will not overlap. When we go to smaller breakpoints, things will not overlap. I can simply, for example, I am here on tablet, or let's say mobile landscape. I will change this thing. There we go, and you can see that, overall it's looking much better. If I go with absolute, I will have to change the padding, and then, so yeah, I just think in this use case, static works better for me, considering we want to make things responsive later point. Yeah.
Great. Question from Dylan Harricks earlier up. I'm currently working on a site with video elements. How do you make the background video inherit the aspect ratio of the uploaded video? It currently cuts off. Harshit, do you know the answer to this?
Yeah. So actually, by default, when we upload it right now, I think if I set the height to auto, okay, it goes like this. Let me try this thing. So when we upload YouTube video, it kind of takes the background automatically. When you upload so by the way, guys, one thing just to add on top of this question, I'm using Webflow video element right now, Webflow background video. When you upload the video, it compresses the video, but I personally prefer, when doing client projects, I prefer uploading it from third party service like Vimeo or maybe Dropbox, where you upload the video and then use that video link to have the highest quality possible. Yeah, so in that case as well, we can set the aspect ratio, but for now let's see if we can set it here inside the Webflow designer itself. So I will remove this thing, and let's see how much of this is cutting. Let's try to apply 80 VH. I will remove the section padding for now. Section small, medium is fine for now. Let's see. Or, the best way I think would be to have a CSS for the uh, aspect ratio itself. Like I can have a custom CSS set for aspect ratio. So for example, here uh, I have this, and hero background. Let's see. Let's try to apply CSS. There are a few ways to kind of approach this, guys. Ratio. Let's try 1:1 for now, just to see, make sure it is working. Yeah, so it is working. I will apply the width to 100%. There we go, and height to auto. Now, okay, now we can see that CSS is working. Uh, let's see if I can apply this to 16:9. Yeah, there we go. So this is how you can actually control the overall ratio of the video itself. But yeah, I'm not sure why Webflow's element is not adjusting it itself. Yeah, not 100% sure about that. Or maybe it is. Uh, no, it is not. Definitely, it's a bigger video. Yeah, maybe I will try one more method. So this was the first method, to use custom CSS. Second way would be, let me simply comment this out for now. The second way would be to use this property, minimum height, so minimum 80 VH. So now we have a bigger, yeah, ratio. One more thing that we could do possibly is set the background video to absolute, and then set a padding inside, to kind of set it. So I think there are multiple ways to achieve this thing, Joe. Yeah.
Great. Great answer. And that CSS method, Dylan, I think start with that one. That's really nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Question from Julie. Julie Matter Mearsman. Hi, thanks for the live build. Question. Why are there HTML elements added in for padding, like padding global and others, versus putting padding settings on content-based elements themselves? Well, Julie, a lot of client first is all about visibility and organization. So when I look at Navigator, I can see exactly which core elements I have in a section or on a page. I can choose to add some of them or remove some of them from the page. I can reorder them by dragging on the page. So yeah, we could put padding global on any element, but then we don't see that there's padding global. It's an add-on class to something else. So having that visibility in Navigator of, okay, there's padding global here. This is something that we as a system think is organized and um, really transparent, right? Too many little combo classes and add-on classes throughout the project, it makes it more difficult to use because you have to search for where that padding is coming from. So it's not right or wrong what we're doing. It's just kind of a method in this idea of organization and really making the core structure clear. And then we'll bring up a comment next from Ihao, Iaho, Iaho, Ihajo. I like how client first helps you not think about margins and paddings. So Um, I think another thing that's really nice about the system that we're very clear about when we're using margins and paddings. They're not add-on classes like hidden settings for elements in the navigator. We know exactly, okay, there's a margin class here. That's why this space is created. There's a padding class here. That's why there's a huge gap here. So just a little bit more visibility. Um, I like it. I know other people like it, but yeah, it may be something that you have to get used to. Okay, we have more good questions here. Hold on. Um, I think that's it, actually. I think we can continue here. Did I forget? If I forgot somebody's question, um, please let me know. Double question it. Dylan Harrix asks, for the CSS method of the aspect ratio, do you have to set an exact aspect ratio? There's no way it can just be the ratio of the uploaded video. So kind of like an automatic ratio setting.
Hmm. Yeah, uh, I'm not sure 100%. Like right now, as I can see, it is not really working like that way. I think there could be possible ways. Like what I would personally do in this particular case is also Dylan, for example, in this particular use case, let's go to mobile and see how they are doing it. It's always a good idea. And okay, they don't have a video at all on the mobile itself, but for example, I want this video to go on mobile. It would make no sense for me to put video on the same ratio as it is, like 16:9, because things will get crammed up. Or even if I want to keep the 16:9, I have to separate the video and title itself. Yeah. So not 100% sure, like with video element you can do that. So for example, if you have a custom embed and here you have a video element, so video, and then you can, sorry, you can set URL of the video. So exact, I think exact structure is something like this. You can find it on W3 schools as well, the exact video structure as well. I have used this a lot of times in client projects. When you use video element, you have the power to actually use some set ratio based on the video itself. But the thing is, I think it's also good to have control over the ratio from the designer, because when you go to mobile and all, you might want to change it. For example, here I have it as okay, let's, I'm not going to use, for now I'm not going to use aspect ratio, because I might want to keep it here as well. So let's simply use just ATVH. The video is going to be covered, so it's going to cover the full space. So ATVH, and here it's ATVH. It's looking nice. You can see that it's kind of adapting the screen itself. So yeah, so two answers I would say. So if you want exact aspect ratio, you can know the aspect ratio of your video itself. Then using aspect ratio property of CSS, set that, and it will be same throughout the breakpoints. And if you want to adapt it, you can use properties inside Webflow Designer, the style property like minimum height or something like that, so that it adapts into different screens.
Great. Thanks, Harshit. I'm
Yeah.
also going to share an article in the chat. I know when I was building websites, I liked using this padding top hack, so you don't have to go into custom CSS. There's lots of methods, lots of really, sometimes you have to play around with it, right, to get to that exact use case you're looking for. And a nice answer
Yeah.
from Slawick, would love to see. Yeah, Dylan, for you to try these out, and if any of them work, shout out on Twitter. Um, Best of success with that. I think you can make it happen. Okay, let's continue now. That's it with the questions. So Harshit, we're actually at the hour now. Would you like to do one more section, or would you like to call this and then we continue this series?
Let's actually. I'm up for another session. Let's do one more
Great.
session, I think. Yeah. So should we make the next section or should we go a little bit down like this one? I think we can.
Um, it's
Yeah.
up to you. It's going to be you.
Okay. So uh, let's see if we have a interesting one. I think we can do this section as well. This looks a bit more interesting. Yeah, let's actually do this section, guys. We are going to do multiple streams, so we will cover all the sections as well. Let's do this particular section. I am. It's looking really nice to me. So for now, I am going to publish the website and see how does it look so far. Let's see. So far, looking very good. Video is playing. Feels amazing. Hover is working as well. There we go. Nice. Uh, Amazing. So let's jump to the next section. The big screen logo, however, feels a bit big to me. So I have something wrong, like the sizing is wrong or something. So let me check that really quick. So for now, I'm going to apply estimated size. So 1.85 grams, 1.75 grams. Yeah. For now, let's do that. An estimated value. Now let's jump to the next section. So I will close this. There we go. I have not converted this into a component yet. It's kind of confusing now. Should we call it symbol or component? So I have not converted this into a component, formerly symbol, yet. So we will do that later. So for example, here I have main wrapper. Now I will take another div block and let's start building the next section. Let's go here, cancel this up, and here's the section itself. So the first section itself is sticky. We are going to do that and then we can figure out the rest of the thing later. So I can see a bigger section itself. So I think these are kind of features: reserve, beyond. Okay, then we have form factor, which is feature number one, feature number two. But again, they deserve their own section. I don't think we should just wrap them inside div blocks because they have a pretty nice explanation of themselves. So let's go use sections, and I will start with this section, reserve beyond. I will call this section reserve. Now guys, you can see that I'm calling this section reserve because it's when I'm in navigator, it's pretty clear that this is section to reserve the beyond, which is the headset. Yeah. So reserve beyond, or if there are multiple reserves, I can call it reserve one or something like that. But for now, let's call it reserve. Have the same structure. So I will simply copy and paste it right here. Padding global, container large, padding section medium, and then from here I will delete it. So this is how I simply copied it in a fast way. I can also create a simple symbol out of it. So I will, guys, just to make sure, I will call it symbol so that we don't get confused. So I can create a symbol out of a section. So I can call this section template. Let's remove the naming, for example, here, and create a symbol called section template. This is just a nice way to get started. Now if I want to add a section, I will simply click this. There we go, section is here. And now I can unlink this instance and I have the basic section structure ready with me. Again, a small tip, but let's continue to the build. Here we have it. Let's delete the template. Let's see what we have. So we have some good amount of spacing. Nice. So let's add. Let's see, spacing is in the top. I think spacing itself is in the bigger wrapper, or we can use spacer as well. So let's actually use a spacer. I think it's a nice use case to use a spacer when we want to create uneven spacing in a section. So here I will add a div block, and then I will call this spacer, for example, large. Large is not enough. Spacer huge. Yeah, for now let's use huge. Then here we have the section itself. Okay, I'm going to divide it into a few parts. So I will call this section title. This is the h2, which I'm not going to give any class to it. Then we have the paragraph. Then we have the button itself. Then we have an image, and then I think I'm going to wrap this thing inside a single div block. uh, Price.
Can I ask about the decision for the H1 and the H2?
Definitely. So you
So,
mean why
yeah,
we have h1 here and h2s here, right?
go down a little bit more. I can't see it. You said reserve beyond is what H?
It's nothing. It's a simple text element. I will call this
Ah,
section
I'm
title.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. I misheard you. I'm sorry for interrupting. Please continue.
Yeah, no problems. So I will call this pre-order now h2. I can also potentially make reserve beyond and this h2. I can have two h2s as well. Depending upon the SEO, I can do that. That is not going to break any SEO rules for me. But for now, I'm going to keep this as as a simple text element. If there are like a super important information, I might consider keeping it as h2 and this as h2 as well. But let's have this as h2 for now. For h1, we should only have one h1 on the page, so that's why I'm not going to use h1 anymore. We just want to use h1 h2s for now. So let's have this. There we go. Let's have a wrapper, and I will call this. Let's call this. Do we have similar structures? I'm just scanning really fast. Okay. Hmm. I think I can call the whole thing as feature, kind of feature wrapper, because I can see a feature block here, a feature block here. Yeah. Or yeah, let's actually go ahead and if we want to rename things later, we will do that. So for now, I will call this features, or no, reserve. It is reserve. Serve wrapper. There we go. Reserve wrapper. Now I will have a text block which I will call section title, because this is kind of defining the section title itself. Reserve section, form factor, something like that. So let's call it section title and paste this thing. There we go. And guys, it is taking some styling from the website. I'm going to unstyle it, clear any formatting. Let's see the fonts and all. So font is 15. We are going to use 14. Weight is 64. Semi bold. Line height is 22. Nice. So font size is 14. Semi bold. Everything is in capital letters, so I will capitalize it. The color is gray, so let's use the gray color. I think let's keep the text 1 RAM itself. 14 is looking too small. Yeah, this is fine. Nice. Now I will add another div block. I will call this reserve content. Yeah, so reserve content. Here we go. Reserve content, and I have similar structure. Maybe let's see. Yeah, I have similar structure. So let's not call it reserve. I will like to call the whole thing as features component. I would like to make everything under feature component. So let's call it feature wrapper. Feature item or feature wrapper, both should work fine. For now, I will call it feature item. As you can see, I don't really have any upper element like feature component or feature wrapper here or feature list here, because with client first v2 we use folder system. So you don't really want, it's fine if you don't have a parent element, but you can think it of in this way that it's related to features. So feature underscore item, it's related to feature. When I use feature wrapper, again the wrapper is related to feature itself. So feature item for now, let's do that. And then this one is section title, which is fine. Then this one will be called as features content. There we go. Let's add a h2 in there. First let me add this flex box, and then I will expand this. Sizing will be set to, what is the name of this one, grow if possible. Yeah, so this will grow. And then let's set some gap, maybe 2 rems for now. Even more, 4 rems. There we go. Add heading will be a h2. Let's check the styling really fast. Styling is 62 pixels, line height is 78, weight is 500. Nice. So all h2s, weight is 60. This, and then 62 and 78. 62 divided by 16 RAM. There we go. And line height is set to 78 divided by 62, which is 1.25 something. So yeah, I will round it off to 1.25. And the text is 62 pixels. By the way, guys, when we use client first, when you are doing client first for your clients, you can, because you have the control over the design, you can strictly follow the 4 point system where the values are 60, 64. 62 is also fine because it's not a very big value. But again, right now I'm using 62 because that is how it is in the website, and it looks fine. So yeah, let's do that. There we go. Select this thing and remove any styling. Reserve. Okay, so I think it didn't go through. Order now. Nice. And then add a paragraph, and let's see how the paragraph style is. It is 24, so which will be text size large. Text size large is the, again, global utility class. Weight is 500 and line height is 32. So let's have this text size large, and you can see the size is 24 pixel, which is 1.5 rems. The color itself is grayish. Let me see. uh, if I want to make the default color, the default text color, to gray, I think yes. I'm just scanning through the website. I can see most of the normal text colors are gray here. Yeah. So you know what, let's go to the body, and in the body I'm going to change the default text color to gray. And that for headings I'm going to change them manually for each, for each heading, sorry, heading tag, I'm going to convert them to white. So headings are going to be white, just like this. This is just to promote scalability. I changed the text color of the body itself to gray. Now there are two ways to create the spacing that we have right here. Okay, let's scroll up. I can either use margin classes or I can use spacing uh, wrappers. I can use both here. So I think, what do you think, Joe? What should we do? Should we go with the spacers?
Let's go with the spacers. Absolutely.
Yeah, so let's go with the spacer, guys. So what I'm going to do, as the name suggests, spacers add space between two elements, and this is a nice case to do that. So actually, there are three ways to do this. One of the way would be to use margin classes. So I will wrap the element inside a div block. I will give that div block a class, so of margin bottom, for example, and then margin medium or something like that. There we go. This is the first way. The second way is to add space between the elements and using our new class set of classes, which is spacer. So spacer medium, I think, yeah, a nice way to start. And the third way would be to apply the the spacing directly, as margin to the all headings and paragraphs by default. You can go with all the three ways. With client first, we recommend using the first two. The third one is also nice and scalable, if you can manage it as well. I personally go with the third way, where I apply the spacing on all the headings directly on the global heading itself. But for now we are going to use spacers. Spacer right here, and then I spacer right here for the button itself. So let's add a spacer. Or one thing that I really like to do is I create a button wrapper class. uh, just based on the observation, I create a separate class for button wrapper, and I create a custom spacing for this as well, generally. Yeah. And then let's copy the big button right here. There we go. Paste your pre-order. Let's copy this thing. The pre-order. There we go. The plus point of using the button wrapper now will be to have a flex box applied to it. There we go. So the button is not expanding. It is kind of extending a lot because I have applied flex to it. We are using a link block. That is why. With Webflow, we don't have a default option for flex inline. However, with client first, we do have an option for display flex inline, but I don't really want to have a combo class on my big button. That's why I don't want to really use that particular utility class. What I will do, I will simply apply a flex to my button wrapper. So here you can see that I have the class itself, and it's looking nice. I want to change the icon itself. So let's simply go to our assets. This is the icon, copy the code and paste the code in, and voila, it's there. Yeah, let's add the image really fast. So, mhm, feature content. There is my button wrapper. You can have image directly there as well. Yeah, let's actually have it directly. Kind of a habit to have a image wrapper just to have more flexibility, but in this use case, it's perfectly fine. So I will call this feature uh, full image. I'm calling this full image because it's kind of expanding to the very end. Width is set to 100%. There we go. And let's choose the image itself. Okay, I think this is the one. Yep, this is the one. Nice. It is extending, right? Yeah, it is extending. Nice. Let's have another spacer right here on top of the image. Spacer. There we go. Or I can add spacing to the image itself. I think all of the images have some kind of spacing on them. Yeah, so I can do both. I can add a spacer or I can add spacing on the image itself on both of the sides. I can do that. Yeah. So for now, let's try to use a spacer. Spacer, uh, huge, XX huge maybe. No, that's too much. Spacer, huge. Yeah. So that's how we have it. Now let's have the another section, which is this one. So I will call this maybe features specs. Let's have a div block. Features specs. Yeah, this is nice for now. Okay, so this is a plain text. All of the items are right here, plain text simply. So let's add a text element. Call this text size medium. Not really calculating the exact sizing, but yeah, it's large. Okay, so text size large. And the text color is white, so I'm going to add another combo class called text color white. There we go. We have it. It says included, so simply copy this here. There we go. Then I have the list itself. So let's call this spec block. I will call this spec block. I can also go with folder here, so I can do this as well. But I don't really have. Yeah, I can do both here. What do you think, Joe? What should we do? Should we go down the folder or should we keep it spec dash block?
I think it could be part of the folder, but it's this is a user decision. So a lot of times with client first, you're going to be in the middle of should I do this or should I do that?
Yeah,
And really, the answer is just pick one and go for it. That's there.
exactly.
There's no really right way to do it as long as it's clear and understandable.
Yep, makes sense. Yeah, and we can always, guys, come later and change our naming, as we go. But for now, I think I will decide to go with a folder naming spec underscore block, because I am going to have other elements as well here, like spec a gallery. There is a small gallery available. It's not clickable in the original website, but we can make it a light boxes, right? So yeah, I think I would like to go with uh, spec underscore block to create a folder especially for spec itself. Yeah, let's add some border here. I will have a gray border, white, and also add a top one, then white. There we go. This looks nice. Or I can use outline to prevent that overlap. So let's have outline. Okay, never mind. I think border is fine here, and I can use a combo class. Okay, so this is good. Let's add another spacer. So spacer, uh, spacer medium. Yeah, spacer medium is nice. And I have added padding right inside this thing, so that's fine. Let's add another text block, just like this. Yeah, and this looks good to me. I think I want to divide this thing into grid, so let's create a grid out of it. Three parts. Delete the bottom one, and this looks nice. The first one is price. Let's see the text size. Text size is 18. Nice. So I will make this text size medium, which is 18 pixels. Here we go. Price. As you can see, guys, I'm not giving specific names to these smaller like things. The reason is, of course, flexibility. I want flexibility so that you know I can scale my website. Basically, I don't want to have names spread around all over the place. Yeah, so I just try to make my website personally a global as global as possible. So here I have pricing. Then let's have this. Have text color white. Price itself. So I should not copy anymore. Yeah, and I will simply copy the whole thing just like this. We have hardware, and then I have this thing. So I will simply again use line breaks to kind of separate these things. Fiber optic and cable link. I can have a, what I can do is I can also have a div block, and inside that I can have multiple text elements. Here, or I can go with a single text element as well. So instead, I can have a div block, and inside that I can have multiple text elements for each of them. But yeah, for now I'm going to go with single text element. Oh, yeah, or maybe, I think it makes more sense in terms of it's because it's separate text itself. So I think let's actually go with separate text elements. I will make this decision here to go with different text elements, just like this. Because the text itself is different. So let's have two of them or three of them. I will leave for everything for now. Everything is for now. Yeah, three of them is fine for now. There we go. Yeah, for now let's do this. And then we have the gallery itself. So I will have a div block. I will call this features spec gallery. Then here I will add a light box. I will add actually multiple light boxes because I have four of them. So I can call this feature specs light box, and I can have four of them just like this. Actually, lets me name the image as well. So feature specs light box image. There we go. Now I have not applied, underscore after lightbox, because I think lightbox image itself is a one text or one name itself. Yeah. If I might be having like so many components inside my lightbox, I might also consider creating a folder inside lightbox. but for now I don't want to create a folder. Let me also show you how folder looks like so far. So if I go to this client first folders, and here I can see how it looks like for now. So which section is this? This is feature. So if I open feature, I can see a spec folder. Inside spec, I can see blog, gallery, lightbox, and lightbox image. So I can create a lightbox image folder, but it's fine. I think for now I will go with without folder here. So this is how folders look like, when we name things with underscore. Let's have this and replace this with one image. Hmm, okay, I think this is the one. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, there we go. This is the one. So there we go. And I can then give this a width and height. First, I will try to take the width and height from the image itself. So it's 242 by 242. So I think it is already taken. And I think they are using double the size of the image to facilitate retina displays. So what we can do is we can simply click on this option, images HIDPI, to make it compatible for retina displays. So what Webflow does is, it uses the smaller resolution or smaller version. The inline width will be set smaller based for normal displays, but for retina displays, the image will kind of have the bigger inline width and height to facilitate them. Yeah, so it's a nice touch, I think, that Webflow has. So whenever you are exporting images in Figma, what you can do is, to support retina displays, you can always export your images into 2x, 2x of its original size, and then use this option called images HIDPI, which is high density per pixel. Yeah, high. So it's basically going to support retina displays as well. Yeah, in short. But HIDPI, guys, sorry, it's high dots per inch, not density. Yeah, it's dots per inch. So we have four of them, and let's convert this thing into a grid as well, or maybe a flex box. I think both of them is fine. There we go. It's in the center. Have some gapping like this, maybe zero point 0.5 rems. Then have some border radius. I can add the border radius to image as well. So let's do that. Maybe 5, maybe 10 pixels. Yeah, 10 pixels is fine for now. I can see a little bit padding is needed, just like this. So 1.25, and I think this is much better. And then I can upload the images separately here as well. So which is completely fine. Let's see what else do we have. I think I think we are good in terms of this. Let me publish the website and see it live. Okay, one more thing. This section is kind of overlapping the image. So for that, I'm going to use negative margin. So it's I think it's a nice use case for negative margin here. I can apply the negative margin to the image itself, or I can apply it on the feature specs itself. But the thing is, there might be specs in this page. Let's say, I'm not sure if there are, but there might be specs where I don't want that negative margin. So what I can do is I can simply use a combo class like is, for example, is reserve or something like that, so that I know this particular negative margin belongs to only this section. So let's add some negative margin just like this, and I'm going to convert this into rems. So I think minus 14 is a good place. Let's see. Yeah, 14 is a good place. And you can see that some of it is like, yeah, some of it is broken. The border is broken. I think it is going behind the image. So what we will do is we will apply z index. So let's set the position to relative and apply a z index of 1. So now what this does is, now the image is behind and the div block itself is in the front. So that's how we kind of manage it. Now let's publish the website. Okay, looks good. Looks good. This section also I think looks great. Yeah.
Nice. Looking very good. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think at the end of this section, now let's plan for the next stream where you continue this build, and let's let's yeah, let's start to close down this build today's session. Harshit, I think you did a great job building this site. I know that there's people following the live build here because we still have a good watch count and we're 90 minutes in. So
Oh wow.
good job to you for continuing this build. Now, we're going to do this again next Tuesday, the 25th. There will be a continuation of this stream. So if you stayed here and watched this, we will be building more with CMS. We'll be continuing that build, and Harshit's going to continue educating us how to build in client first. And Harshit, do you have anything to say before we close this down?
Uh, no, I think I would say that, to I think to kind of follow along, what you can do, guys, is build up to this point, maybe, and share it with everyone else in the community, like in Twitter as well. You can share what you have done with the live stream, like you can follow along, and it will be nice. Uh, I would like to add one thing while naming decisions, Joe. I think I have also mentioned this in previous streams as well. When naming things and also following the rules with client first, a lot of people actually worry a lot about following exact rules of the documentation, and we have seen versions of the client first where people have created their own version of client first where they are following the core structure, they are following the core principles of client first, but they have their own touches, and I do that myself as well. So I would like to end this stream with a small message that when using client first, please don't bound yourself to follow strict rules. You can create your own version of client first. You have to make sure that you are following the base core structure. Like we have the core structure, we have for example, someone was asking about padding global, right? So padding global is part of our code structure because it genuinely helps when you have bigger websites. There will be sections where you don't need any padding, and just to avoid any mess ups, we have that separately already in place. So yeah, those are there for a reason. If you are following core structure, you are following core principles of client first, it is fine to make minor tweaks for yourself, if you feel more comfortable. And yeah, I think that will be the only message I would like to add here.
Nice. Great message. Great message. Can you do the audience a favor and share the read only link in the
Definitely.
audience? That would be very helpful. Anybody following along, and you miss something, you could go into Harshit's build and actually see what he has done in the live stream. And we'll add it to the description too. There may be an issue sharing it because of text size, the size of the URL string, but it will be in the description afterwards. And of course, when we're done with this live build, the multiple sessions, it will be shared as a clonable. So if you're new to Webflow, if you're building, this is a great intro site to really learn how to put together a full web page. All right.
Yeah.
So that's the end. We'll see everybody next week, Tuesday, 25th, part 2 of this VR build. And Harshit, thank you so much. Really appreciate your
Thank
time.
you so much, Joe. Thank you so much, Joe. I'm super happy that we are doing this, and we are going to do more of this. Thank you so much, guys, for joining.